Hey guys, Scuba Steve here with my second online commentary video, this time for Medieval Total War 2. I hadn't played this game in a long time, jumped on the other day, right when 2 vs 2 was looking for one more player, and jumped in. Really cool group of guys. I'll mention their names in a bit. Let's go over what I have from my army here. The restrictions were CWB, and no more than 2 wooden war machines and no more than 6 horse. So basically no gunpowder war machines. So I've got 3 peasant archers in my front line, 2 units of Bardiche axemen, and 4 units of Drazina, actually 5 units of Drazina. These guys are out here to kind of support my cavalry. 2 generals bodyguard. I accidentally selected 2. I didn't really mean to bring 2. That was alright, because I did need them later. 2 units of spearmen protecting my rear. And out in the flank here, I have 1 ballista. That was basically just to help take out enemy artillery. 2 heavy Drazina cavalry, and 2 cavalry militia, slightly lighter spear-armed cavalry. So a fairly standard army. My ally here is the Turkish army. Man of Skill is his tag. He has a bunch of Janissary archers, Alan cavalry, and his main force really is the Kekpulu? I don't know how to pronounce that. But that's the power of his force. He's got, I think, 4 of those very heavy cavalry. And then he's got some spearmen, decent infantry troops. Our opponents are commanding Poland and Spain. The Polish player is a very defensive setup here. He's got 2 units of arquebusiers in the front, and he's got Slavic mercenaries and Lithuanian archers holding the line. They're not very good troops, but they'll be able to hold off any frontal charge. Not to mention he put up stakes here, and then he's got 2 units of trebuchets. Very powerful war machine, especially when flaming shot is on. Very demoralizing. In his flank, he's protecting with some Polish retainers. He's got, I think, 2 units of these missile cavalry, crossbow cavalry. His knights are fairly heavy. Polish retainers, general's bodyguard, and he's got 1 unit Polish guard. These guys are tough as nails. And then the Spanish player over here is readjusting. We both kind of he set up in an oblique formation, I guess hoping that we would run straight at the defensive opponent, but we're not going to do that. We're going to line up straight in a line. He also has a lot of muskets. All of his missile troops are muskets. All of his foot guys are dismounting chivalric knights with very tough heavy infantry. And all of his knights are conquistadors. I guess he has a couple of dismounted conquistadors. They're practically like the knights. They're only a little bit worse in quality. So I like this battle because we all kind of took balanced lists. No one really had any, anything really cheesy or no one broke the rules. So I like that, especially because it was my first time back playing this game. It was something I could wrap my head around. And we all pretty much just kind of met in combat. So here starts the skirmish phase. I'm actually going to stop recording here for a second and let the skirmish phase continue, because I think this video is going to be too long. So, be back in a sec. Oh, I'm going to start recording. The skirmish phase is still going on, but I started lighting trebuchets on fire. This amused me to no end. I was using my my ballista, had flaming shots on, and it's a fairly accurate war machine. It's just not very fast firing. It doesn't do a lot of damage to troops, so most people don't bring it. But as an anti-war machine, it's marvelous. You can light war machines on fire, and it does damage quick. After just maybe 20 seconds of burning, this trebuchet collapses. It's done now. And then I'm going to start concentrating my fire on some of the other trebuchets as well. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. The skirmish phase is still going on, and will continue for a little bit. So I'm going to stop recording again and pick it up when some action starts. Alright, skirmish phase is basically over for me anyway. My archers are all dead. Arquebusiers are much stronger. His missile cavalry started coming up, taking pot shots at me, so I sent my cavalry militia I think they're a little bit faster than my other heavy horse, to try and catch them. I do catch a couple, mostly I just back them off, which is what I wanted to really do in the first place. In the meantime over here, I managed to burn 3 trebuchets. That amused me greatly. Then I started taking some pot shots at his general, because if you're going to kill something, might as well kill some general's bodyguard. Withdrawing my horses to mess around with his cavalry, and I've got my main force holding the line, but his main line here that I'm going to be fighting is not composed of great troops, so I'm not putting a lot of my men there. I've got this flanking force I'm going to support with units of spearmen that I had guarding my back line, because no one's really trying any wide sweeping flank maneuvers to support my cavalry. I'm advancing my main line now to engage his, because I believe that my infantry is superior, as long as I can find a way to deal with his cavalry by either locking them up or trying to get my spearmen into them. I feel like I can take the Polish player. And also I noticed that my Turkish ally and the Spanish player were engaging, and I wasn't quite as certain on how that fight was going to go. So I wanted to make sure that if something was going to happen, it had to happen soon. Sending my infantry in. Here he charges right into my spearmen. That's fine by me. He can do that all day. I've got where are my horsemen at? Well, I've got my general's bodyguard units coming up to support. Try and drive off some of his guys. Here we go. My cavalry did a wide sweep,
You must act now.
driving away the last of the missile cavalry. So I'm going to use him to come in here and engage the Polish retainers, which he disengaged, which was a smart move. My Turkish ally, his general goes down, so I really need to try and go for a knockout blow here before the Turkish can show up. I mean, before the Spanish can show up on my flank. This is a good move here. His best infantry, the Polish best infantry, he didn't engage me head on. He brought him in a wide sweep, but I basically crushed most of the rest of his army at this point. I'm gonna fast forward for time here. So we basically do end up meeting about head on, but not with the troops I wanted. My general's unit gets engaged in this fight, which I shouldn't have had him in there, and then I just kind of drip feed my men in, which wasn't great, including my cavalry. I didn't swing them around, and then my general dies because of my hubris. Surely he will be fine. Just kind of showing you the flow of the battle here. I still feel confident that I'm going to knock out the Polish player, but I did so with probably more casualties than I could have. I believe that was the Polish general that just went down there. I think he was fighting somewhere. See, the Polish player is pretty much down, but he does manage to save almost all of his archers. So Lithuanian archers run off to the side here. And I was pursuing him with infantry, which is dumb. I should have brought him back. And he's got some Polish guard left. Small, depleted unit, but they're still tough. Class unit infantry is holding out to the end here. So that's basically it. The Turkish player is knocked out, and the Polish player is almost knocked out. I'm going to come back when the battle lines have been readdressed to me versus Spain. Alright, I reformed my line. I'm going to meet the Spanish. He's doing the same over there. I probably should have rested for a second, but at this point I was looking at our armies. I've got a little bit of heavy infantry, but a lot of my infantry is left are spearmen. My horses, I've got a good number of them left, but they're kind of chewed up. And I was looking at his army. He has a lot of heavy infantry left. Lots of chivalric knights, dismounted conquistadors, which are almost as good. Lots and lots of heavy infantry. They're sword infantry, so they won't be able to hold against my cavalry too great. But there's just too many of them. There's too many of them, and they're too heavy at this point for me to really do anything. So the battle is going to Spain, I think, pretty much no matter what I do here. So I tried for what I thought, quick knockout was my only real shot. So I send in my cavalry in a head-on charge to his sword infantry, I was thinking I could maybe strike through him and then my infantry could help mop up. And I guess it works alright. I get a couple decent charges off, but ultimately it doesn't work out. I just didn't have enough men. His men were too good. I don't think I used a lot of upgrades when I chose my army. I think it was 1,500 gold. So it was just a quality issue at this point. Plus, this game's a little bit funky with charges. Lots of men getting held up in the back. So these knights are just kind of hanging out way back here. Not fighting anything. This unit routed when it still had 16 men left. I was really surprised, because the Dracaena are my heaviest cavalry. I would have thought their morale would have been better. I guess they were taking flanking shots, and our morale went still. And he used his cavalry wisely to flank me, and that caused a mass rout.
Something changes in the course
So
of
that
battle.
pops him.
For defeat,
And I think that unit of heavy cavalry rallies. But my ally admits defeat, I admit defeat, because the game was over. So it ends in an average defeat for us. My ally was man of skill, very nice guy, did very well. You can see I got the least kills out of the whole battle, even though I was one of the last men standing. His opponent was really tough for him to fight. He had a lot of heavy infantry, decent heavy cavalry, and tons of muskets. So he did a good job taking out as many of them as he did. You can see almost all the muskets were gone. Under Warrior A and War Dude 80 were our opponents. Very good opponents, everyone in this game. Good game. Average defeat here. But I liked Medieval 2. I hadn't really played too much online with Medieval 2. I might be trying to do it later. Trying to do it more often. So if any of you play Medieval 2 and get on, want to hit me up for a game, I might be on if I'm on Steam. So I will see you guys later.